All right, I know we just had a few people just join. My name is Kate with Scott Leroy Marketing. Again, today we're going to be going over designs within Command. And with that, we're going to take a look at creating both a email signature design in the Command platform, as well as a social post design. So we're going to take a look at both of those. The first thing that we want to do to get started, though, is to jump into the Command platform. So I'm going to go ahead and go over to Command. If you're not familiar with Command, hopefully you are comfortable with it. But that is agent.kw.com to access the Command platform. I'm already signed in. Your screen here can look a little bit different than mine. I just like to let you guys know that if you're seeing different pieces of information on this front screen, that is totally okay. This screen can be customized a little bit. So if you were seeing some different pieces of information, that's perfectly fine. But the next thing we want to do now that we are in Command is we want to navigate over to our Designs applet. So all of these icons on the left-hand side are going to be your different applets within Command that allow you to do different things. You can hover over those to see what each of them is. You can also hit the red and white KW. That's going to expand that menu bar so that you can see all of them at once. Again, we're headed into designs, so it's going to look kind of like a paintbrush with a canvas behind it. It also says designs, so we're going to head there. Now, once we are in the designs dashboard, this can also look different from command to command. So these designs are going to be my projects created within this command account. So previous designs that we have created within this platform. So if you don't have any yet, that's okay. If you have one or two, that's totally great too. But these are going to be your designs. This allows you to go back into a design you've created and maybe just edit some information on it if you want to reuse it. So you won't lose those unless you delete them. Up here, you do have a search bar, which allows you to search for different designs that you have created within your command platform. You can also filter. Now, when we are filtering, you'll see that we have the ability to search by design type. So these are the different types of designs that can be created within the command platform. You can create email designs, social media, print designs, as well as a video that you can create in here. So you can search by those. You can also change your view if you'd like to. Currently, we're in tile view. Can change that to be a list if you prefer it. And you can also sort this to show oldest to newest or newest to oldest. So whatever you're looking for here. Your other two options right here are going to be import a design or create a design. Now, for us to first get started, we're going to hit this import design. We're going to come back in a little bit and do the create, but we want to hit import design first. And give that a minute to redirect and load. All right, now once that is loaded, you'll see that we're again under My Projects. So these are, again, those same designs that we've created that are displaying, allows us to go in and make edits to those. We can also sort them and put them into folders, just organize them a little bit. You can create new designs. You can start from a blank template. You can also choose a template. You can import or edit PDFs, and you can also remove backgrounds in here. As you can see, we do have the ability to search. We also have these other options at the top. So we have templates, which we are going to come back and take a look at. We also have images. This is just going to be a place to search for stock photos. So just know that this is here. And then we have assets. Now this is where we're going to get started for today's class. Assets are going to be different pieces of marketing, images, text, colors, fonts, etc. That is going to allow you to create your designs a little bit easier. It's also going to allow you to kind of create your own brand if that's something you're interested in. Allows you to be consistent with your marketing and kind of keep everything on a similar, design scale. So first we have company assets. There is going to be a drop down here where you have your assets as well. But before we jump into that, we're just gonna go through the company ones. Excuse me. Now, these company ones are provided by Keller Williams International. So as you can see, we have the standard Keller Williams colors up here in the color palette. Now, there are also some fonts that are provided. These are fonts that they're just providing to you to be able to use. You can, of course, add your own, and we'll take a look at that when we're in My Assets, but you can use any of these. Moving down, we have images. Now, again, there's going to be some different stock photos here available for you to use. They do have some different folders if you're looking for app photos. Maybe you're trying to promote your app and get people to download it. You can, of course, use their images for that. There are exteriors and interior house photos, neighborhoods. So there are a ton of different photos if in here that are stock photos that can be used for your different marketing. Next, we have text. Now, their text for the KWRI is just the ownership statement. Each office independently owned and operated. Most times, you're going to need that on all of your marketing, so it's just easier to go ahead and make sure that's on everything. But they leave it in here so that you can easily pull that into your designs. Now, next we have logos. When it comes to logos, there are a bunch of different ones. So you have K-Score, Keller Williams University. If you're looking for Red Day logos, if you are a luxury agent, miscellaneous, you can find the NAR and Equal Housing logos within here. So if you need those for different items, labs, and then of course your generic Keller Williams logos. So they have some basic ones. Now you will most likely want to be using your market center specific logo when you're creating your own marketing, and we'll take a look at where to find those and how to add those to your assets when we get into My Assets. But just know that these are here in the event that you need to use them. Elements, those are kind of like icons, symbols that you're using in different pieces of marketing. For example, if you're plugging in your email, phone number, website into marketing all of the time and you don't want to type out phone, email, and you want something to identify that piece of information, you can use these little icons to label kind of what those are. You can also have videos. They do need to be public videos, so on a platform similar to YouTube or something like that in order for you to have them here. You can also add files, PDFs that you're including a lot that you may need in your assets. As you can see, the KWRI has the style guide and design addendum. Now that we've gone through all of the company assets, we just want to jump up to this little drop down and we want to take a look at My Assets. So again, these assets are going to make creating your designs a lot quicker. It's going to save you some time because everything you need is already built into your assets. It's also going to allow you to create some brand consistency. So if you have a set color scheme, maybe you've had a logo created and you want to pull the colors from your logo, things like that. You can create your own color palettes, your own fonts. You can add your photos, all of that. So we'll go through each of these really quick. As you can see, we have a few color palettes. If you have one you want to remove or rename, you can delete or rename by hitting those three dots. If we want to create a new color palette, we can go ahead and just hit Add Palette. And from there, you can see we have a few dots. We can start pulling in colors. If you're looking to pull in colors from a logo that you've had created, an easy way to do that is to use this little dropper. So if we were to click on that, you'll see that we get a circle with like a graph, and it will allow us to go through and pull any colors from anything. So if we had a logo that we wanted to pull in a color, we could use that dropper to do so. You can also kind of just slide the bar around and pull whatever colors you'd like. We'll just pull in some random colors here today. And you don't have to fill all the colors. If you're looking to use all of them, you certainly don't have to. This is kind of personal preference. So if you want to just leave those, you can do that. I'm going to rename this as 4-3 for today's class, just so I know and can remove that later. If you came in late and you're needing to go back, I can come back at the end of class. We should have plenty of time for questions and for me to kind of retrace anything you might have missed. So, from here though, after we have our assets created under color palettes, we can also add some new fonts. So you can upload your own. You can also just search the web for fonts. That will allow you to come in and kind of look at these different fonts. If you see one that you like, you can just toggle that on and hit add. And once we do that, we should have that new font right here at the front of our fonts. There we go. And we can start using that in our designs. Now, next we have images. Images are going to be a great place for you to add headshots. If you're using QR codes in a lot of your marketing, this is a great place to add those. Anything that you'd like to pull into your designs photo-wise, you can add those images here. There we go. So as you can see, we have a few QR codes. We have some logos. There is a separate place for logos, but you can put them here as well. There are folders. So again, you can create your own folders and add those photos to different folders to kind of keep them separate. You can even, like I said before, remove backgrounds. So this photo of Scott here, if we want to remove this background, we can click on those three dots. As you can see, we have a few options: use, view, download, remove, duplicate, or copy. But if we hit that remove background, it's going to create a new photo without that background. So great option if you're wanting to use your photo and you don't want that background behind you. You can certainly use that option. I'm going to go ahead and delete this. If you're needing any QR codes created that you want to use for your marketing, you can always email our support team. That email is support@scottleroymarketing.com. We're happy to create QR codes for you guys, whether it is your website, your branded consumer app. If you're looking for a specific QR code for an open house sign-in sheet, whatever you've got, we can create those. But this is a great place to add those to create your marketing. Now, next is text. So if you are looking to pull in text to your images all the time, any marketing you're creating, maybe you're pulling in your branded app link, your phone number, email, your bio, whatever it is, you can add those different items here so that you don't have to type them out every time. You can just pull them in directly to your design. Next, we have those logos. So as you can see, we have a ton of different logos in here. You can add your branded logo if you have one. You can add your Market Center specific logo. If you work with vendors and you promote them, you can add those logos, whatever you'd like. If you need help finding your Market Center specific logo, that can be done through kwconnect.com. Now, once you're on kwconnect.com, you should be logged in if you are logged into Command. So as you can see, log out, we're already logged in. From here, though, we're going to head to Resources and down to Marketing. We'll give that a second. And once we're on Marketing, the top thing is Logos and Branding. So if we go ahead and click that, we then have the ability to come down and search for our Market Center specific logos. Now you can search by your Market Center number or name. So we'll just type a random number today. Let's say we want to look for Elite here. I'm going to go ahead and download this. And I actually need to fix my screen sharing so you guys can see what I'm doing here. So give me 1 second. Now that I've downloaded that folder, I can go ahead and find and open that. And I'm going to just go ahead and extract that, unzip it, and we're going to find our new folder. Here we go. Now, once I have my new folder, I'm going to focus on these top two. We have black and white and CMYK. So if I take a look at that and change my view, you'll see that we have some different color and format options for that KW Elite logo. So I can add all of these to my assets. So no matter what marketing I'm creating, I'm going to have a logo that works. This one here does have that white square behind it, and then these are transparent backgrounds. So just keep that in mind. You're going to have some different options. If we go back to the Elite folder and down into the other one, this is where we'll find our color options. So we have the red and gray, the red and white, So lots of options. Again, some backgrounds that you're working with, the logo may not show up very well. So this will give you the ability to pull in whichever logo works the best. I just want to mention here that not every KW office has all of the same color options or formats available. So whatever you are able to download from the KW Connect site is what is going to be available for your office. We do find that some offices have a smaller selection. So just keep that in mind if you're not seeing all of the options available. If we come back though, let's go ahead and I'm going to add a new folder. We're going to call it Elite. And let's go ahead and pull those assets in. So I'm going to click on my folder and I'm going to add asset. And from here, I'm using my device to pull those in. And we're going to pull them from that folder. And I'm going to just hold down on my mouse and highlight all of these. As you can see, I have 4 files. I can hit add more from my device again. And then we're going to go back to the folder and grab those color options. So we're going to just do the same thing here. And now we have a total of 7 files. So I'm going to go ahead and hit upload. While those are uploading, I'm just going to take a quick look at the questions. The recording cannot be emailed out. We don't have emails to send those to, but you can always access it on our YouTube channel, and I can drop that link in the chat again. I've been having issues with QR codes recently, printing. I'm going to come back to your question. I just want to make sure we get through everything, and then, like I said, we'll have time for questions, and I can kind of go through that with you. Now we have all of our logos though. I'm going to go ahead and go back. And again, you can also add any branding logos for yourself, anything like that. Next, we have elements. If you have any, it's similar to the KW ones. You don't have to have any. Videos, same thing. And files. So now that we've gone through creating our assets, making sure everything is there, now we can jump into actually creating our design and pulling in those pieces of information. So from here, we could just head over to templates and start finding our design and creating it. However, I want to just make sure you guys know how to get there from command itself, since we are currently in WeBrand. So let me just go back to command for 1 second. And we're going to go back to designs. Now from here, we're going to go ahead and hit create design. And for today, we're going to focus on social. Since we're going to be creating an email signature and a social piece, this is where we're going to hang out. So I'm going to go ahead and hit that and next. And as you can see, we're brought back into WeBrand where we were before. We can access the templates and we can also access projects, assets, etc. So it all kind of takes you to the same place. From here, though, you'll see we have a bunch of different categories on the left-hand side. Within each of those, there's going to be different categories that you can kind of check out templates and take a look at them. I always like to mention, if you're seeing a template that you like, you can use it for whatever you want. If it's just listed and it's for sports and entertainment, you should be able to go ahead and fully customize that to use it for whatever you'd like. Just make sure you take off any, sports and entertainment logos, things like that, and make sure there's nothing on there that is not for you. So just these are templates that can be customized for anything. For the first design we're going to create, which is going to be an email signature, we're going to head into business basics. Now, once we're under business basics, you'll see that we have the ability to create virtual meetings. So if you want a background for Zoom, you have social branding. So if you're looking for a Facebook cover, LinkedIn, Twitter, etc., you can come here. They have letterhead, business cards. If you want to create your own business card and have it printed through Vistaprint or another platform similar. And we can also create an email signature. So we're going to go ahead and pick one of these. I'm going to go ahead and go with the red one here. So we're going to go ahead and hit use. And when we do that, it's going to bring us into the editor for WeBrand, okay? So this is where we can start really customizing our design, making it our own, and changing all of the things on here. I'm going to let this bar at the top load because sometimes if you don't let it fully load and you get click happy, you can see some errors. So it's done. One thing I want to point out, this banner at the top here, where we see drawing, shapes, frames, text, this banner is going to change throughout the design that we're doing. As we're clicking on different items, you're going to see that banner kind of change. That's going to show you what options you have for that specific item that you're working on. When you're clicked off of the design, so clicked in the white space, you have these options. You can draw if you would like, so you can make lines. You can add shapes. You can add frames, and frames are something that you can add a photo into that perfect little space. So if that's something you're looking for, you can also just add new text to the top of the design. So those are your options when you're clicked off of the design. As we click through the design, like I said, it will change and give us different options. Over here on the left, we have our different content pieces again. So we have images. Now I just like to go through, we have stock photos. Those are separate from the KW assets that we looked at. Anytime you see workspace, workspace is going to be the same thing as those KW assets we were looking at. So as you can see, we're going to see those same photos we were seeing. We're going to see those same folders we were taking a look at. You also are going to have your assets. So this is where you can find your photos and images that you've added. Next is text. Again, same thing. We can add new text to the top. We can also take a look at banners. Those are going to be kind of like stickers, in my opinion. We have workspace, so the KW asset, and then our own. Logos, same thing. KWRI's assets and ours, and so on and so forth. Some of them will have additional stock photos. Others will just have workspace and assets. And we will get into KWLS and animation on our next design. So just know that those are here and we will come back to them. Let's start customizing it. So the first thing we're going to do is let's swap out the photo. So we're going to go to images. Let's grab Scott's photo here. We're going to just switch it. So when I'm clicked on an item, I will have this double arrow that says replace image. That will allow me to replace whatever I'm clicked on with what I am trying to use. So replace image. Otherwise, if I were to just click off of this and click on here, it's going to add a brand new photo to the top, which is fine. You can do that as well. It's just easier to replace. Same for logo. Let's go ahead and swap that out. So let's go to my assets and our elite folder. This is all white one. So let's go ahead and do the same thing. As you can see, it's replace. So we're going to switch that. It's going to put that logo in that exact same little space. Now I always like to customize these a little bit. I like to move the logo over here. I like to move the name up. I like to also move this line up and over. Again, these are templates. You can come in and customize them however you would like. I'm just kind of making this my own. So we're going to move this over. I'm going to leave the license number. Now, when you're replacing text, you can double click and edit the name. You can also click on the text and use the typewriter. So there is a typewriter up here. That will open a new box and allow you to type within that box. And then you can go ahead and hit save changes. So a couple of options there. I'm going to leave the address alone. We'll come down into this number. We'll leave the office alone again. We're going to put support email. This is our support email. If you guys need to reach out to us for anything, you can reach out to this email, and I will also drop this in the chat for you guys really quickly. And if I'm missing any questions, guys, I will come back to those. And then next, we have this one here. Okay, so we've added all of our text. Now, one thing I like to mention when we're kind of doing this is that we could have used our assets, our text assets. If I were to replace this whole box, though, with our phone number, it's going to replace all of that information with that one item. So in some cases where you have multiple pieces of information, it is going to be easier to just type it out, okay? Now next, I'm not going to use the app code or the app link there. I'm going to actually just grab our app QR code. Here we go. I'll put this on here. I like it a little bit better. And we're going to shrink this box down. And you can zoom in, you guys, if you need to zoom in for any reason. I have to do the wrong thing. There we go. I'm going to shift, click, and move all of those over. All right. Now let's say we didn't like the red. We want to change the color. We want to go with our color palette that we've created. We can click on that background color. As you can see, we have our color options here. So if I click on that and come to library, I can find my palette from today and swap that out. Now that's a little bit too light. We'll go with the darker purple. So you can swap out that color. Now, if it had a border around it, we could also change that. So you may be seeing that as well. Once this is done though, you can download it and start using it. If you want to adjust any of this text though, you can also adjust any of that. We can change the font, change the size, move it up. So you can really customize these as much as or as little as you want. We do always recommend reaching out to your Market Center staff for any compliance to make sure that you are compliant with whatever you're using. That goes for logos, text that may need to be included, etc. So always make sure you're reaching out to them. But once we're done and we have our email signature created, let's go ahead and download it. Now I'm going to leave it as a JPEG or PNG, and we're going to just hit download. And then I'm going to walk you guys really quickly through how to add that to your KW email. So what I'm going to do is grab my KW email or my email over here. So give me 1 second. We will pull that up. Here we go. All right. Before we do that, we've downloaded our email signature. So again, downloaded it to our computer. Now we're going to come into our KW email. We're going to hit the little gear that says settings, and we're going to do see all settings. Now from there, we're going to scroll down till we see signature. You may or may not have one already created. If you don't have one, you should see something similar to this screen here. You can go ahead and hit create new. We'll just do 4-3 class. And then I can go ahead and start creating that. So I'm going to hit the insert image. And now it's going to ask for a URL of the image. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to imgur.com. That is where we recommend you host your email. You do not have to sign up or create an account to do this. And I just dropped that link in the chat. All you want to do is hit new post. And from here, we're going to choose our photo or video. We're going to grab our photo. Now that we have that, I'm going to right click on it and do open in a new tab. And then I'm going to right click again and copy image address. Now that I have copied that image address, I can come back and paste that in this little link, and it will populate my photo. Now I can go ahead and hit insert. Now, once I'm done, I can resize this if I want to mess with it. I'm going to leave it original. I think that's perfect size. The last thing you want to do is make sure you turn it on. So these settings down here for signature defaults, do you want that signature for new emails that you're creating? And do you also want it for when you're replying or forwarding emails? Once you have those turned on, you can come down to the bottom and hit save. And then you can go ahead and hit compose to make sure that's working. If it's coming out a little bit blurry, I know this one kind of looks a little blurry as well. You can always resize it. You want to make sure it's a PNG, but you can always make it bigger, make the text bigger. That will usually help too. So if you were to make some of this text on this a little bit bigger, it is a little bit easier to read. If you're still running into issues, you can always reach out to our support email. Before we jump into our next design, just reading these questions in the chat. I will go back to the assets page if you guys missed that. as well as a QR question. For the video recording, we do not email that out. If you're wanting that, you can email our support team later, and we can email it that way, or you'll have to go to our YouTube channel. We don't currently email it to participants, so you can definitely email us or check out YouTube. You can also find the last recording on our YouTube as well. And then for the realtor logo, same thing. If you have the logo, you will just add it to your assets and you can plug it in the same as any other logo. You can always add to the top of this. So if there's another logo you want to include, let's say we wanted to throw on this Scott Leroy logo, um, I could come down here and just add that as well. And then put it on here. You can always add a new logo. I'm gonna add this one to the top because it does look a little there you go. So that is how you'll just add a new logo. You can just add it to your assets and add it that way. Now that we're done with this, I'm going to go ahead and hit done. If I miss any questions, I will come back. The little art, that should be already on those, I think. I think those emails come with them standard. Yeah, they've already got them on these. Oh, yeah. Zooming in on that made that much worse. These already have them, so you should be able to just move it around if you need to. Once that design is created, though, guys, it will populate here within your project so that you can come back in and edit it. If you get a new headshot, you want to change things up, you should be able to access that within your designs and create a new one or customize it more. The next thing that we want to jump into, and like I said, if I miss any of your questions, we will have time at the end. So I promise to come back to any questions I miss. The next thing we want to do, though, is create a social design post. So the first thing we want to do is hit create design and go back to social. And from there, we're brought back into our templates. Usually it will bring you back to where you left off. So you can kind of just close that and move to the next thing. Let's go ahead and take a look at listing. And let's just say we want to create an open house social post. Once we are in open house and we're looking at those templates, up at the top, you're going to see that you can decide what size design you're looking for. This makes finding the template a little bit easier because you know the design you're creating is going to be that size that you need it to be. I like to do the social square when doing social posts, so I'm going to select that one. And then you'll see that we have a bunch of different templates. They're exactly the size that I'm looking for, and I can go ahead and start customizing those now. So I'm going to go ahead and just pick one. We're going to go with this one down here. I like to have one with a headshot. And let's go ahead and start customizing this. So let's go ahead and get a house for this. So what I'm going to do this time is we are going to use the KWLS. So now we can search for a property. We can search by listing address, MLS number. We can search by the KWLS ID, listing agent, or co-listing agent. Let's see if I can find the one that I use all the time. Okay, this error's been coming up lately. If you are seeing this, not to worry. You should be able to use your KW command logins, but if that is not working, the best way around that is to open an incognito window. Give me 1 second. Let me get logged in. And let's go back. Let me just hit done so we can come back into this exact same design. And we're going to go into import and see if we can find our current design. If not, at least we didn't get too far. There we go. Okay, edit. All right, let's try that again. We're going to click on our photo again. We're going to go back to KWLS. And let's see if I can find it. Should have pulled the exact address. I wasn't planning on having to. Here we go. It's on this one. There we go. All right. If you're searching by address, it is going to be a little bit harder to find in some cases. Using MLS ID is going to be much quicker. So the one I'm looking for is down here. We're going to go ahead and hit select. Now, in doing that and using the KWLS, it's going to pull all of the listing information. So we have all of the photos from the listing. We also have all of the listing details. So everything that is listed in MLS down to the description is going to be in here. Makes it really easy to plug all of those details into our design without having to memorize it or go back and forth between two different platforms. So the first thing we're going to do is switch out this photo. We'll just grab this one here. Now that we have our photo switched out, we can start plugging in the rest of the information here. So switch out the photo. Let's go ahead and grab Scott when he pops up. Let me take a look at the questions while we're waiting on that. I'm not sure why, but the assets under my images have been a little bit delayed lately. So if you were seeing that on your end too, hopefully they'll get that fixed. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to, and it doesn't like our frame here. That's okay. Oh, we were clicked on the wrong thing. As you can see, I was clicked on the circle around it and not the photo. That will impact what you can do as well. So let's go ahead and just move that back. We were clicked on this little circle frame around him. And let's go ahead and plug in that address. I'm going to go back to KWLS, get our listing details, and we're just going to replace. I'm going to get my logo here. Oh, I got to go to logos. That would be the correct place. And this time I'm just going to grab the SLM. And we're going to pop that down here. Now, let's say that I had a QR code created for this specific open house. I could put that on there if I wanted to. We could change this font or color if we want. Ooh, not that. That will not work. Let's just do this one. Keep it simple. We can make that bigger. We can change the background of our design, of course. We want to pick one of our colors from our palette today. Let's go ahead and do blue. And that is it. So now that we have a design, we're all set. Now, since this is being created for social media, we could add some animation to this if we wanted to create it as a short GIF or video that's posted on social media. So that is totally up to you. If you're looking to add animation, that is going to be right here. And that will allow you to select what you want to click and what you want to turn into be animated. So we can make this be animated. We can make this be animated, whatever you want. Obviously, oops. Obviously, you don't want to just pick random things. You want to make something that looks appealing, but I just wanted to show you guys some of the options. Once we have the animation added, though, you will see that it's quick little video. It closes out once it's done. You can, of course, adjust some of the durations and stuff if you'd like. Once you're done with this, you can download it with or without that animation, totally up to you. To download, you just hit the download in the top right corner. From there, you have to decide if you do want it to be a video or GIF, or if you just want to leave it as a flat image. So I'm going to do both. We're going to download as a image without animation. And then I'm going to also download, I've had some kind of little issues with this lately. So we will try it this way to see if it works. You should get a download bar anytime it's something that's going to take a little bit of time in the bottom left corner like this so that it will let you know once that's completed. So we'll give this just a second to finish downloading. And then I want to show you guys real quick how to actually post these to your social media through the command platform. So now that we have our design created, we're going to hit done. Now, before you head into campaigns to get started on posting these, you do want to make sure you are connected to your Facebook accounts for post scheduling and your Instagram for post scheduling. You can connect those here. They do need to be business accounts. Your Instagram does need to be linked directly to your Facebook. So if you do not have business accounts created, those will not allow you to connect. Those platforms have some pretty strict rules with promoting and advertising on personal accounts. So Command just doesn't allow you to connect to personal accounts. Once we're done, got those connected though, let's head into campaigns. So campaigns looks like a megaphone. And then once we are there, we can go ahead and hit create campaign. That allows us to select what type. We're going to do a social post. Now, both social and paid are going to go to your social platforms. The difference in those two is social posts go to followers, people that follow and like your page, whereas a paid ad, you are paying for that to hopefully generate new leads, new business, and they won't be posted directly to your accounts. They'll be advertising. Now, once we're here, you'll see we are connected. We have the ability to select what account we want to send this to. Do we want Facebook and Instagram? Once we have those selected, you'll have a preview. If you're doing both, you should have a preview for both of those that you can take a look at. And then from there, you can add your content and add your photo or video. So if we hit add media, we can go ahead and browse our file. And we can go ahead and pull in our video. Oh, it's not liking my video today. It's okay. We'll do our flat image. We're going to go ahead and grab that. It's cropped already. We don't have to do anything. Now we have our image. We have it for Instagram as well. If we add any text, let's say open house. Let's just do Saturday because we didn't put the time or date on the flyers or on the photo itself. So we want to make sure we get that included on here somehow. So we will do Saturday the 5th. Yeah, I believe it's April. And we'll just do 1 to 3. And then you could, of course, add any emojis that you might want to add. Totally up to you there. Once you are all done though, you'll see we have our text. On here, we're going to have it below. Once we're done, we can include the ownership statement or DBA. So if those were not included in our design, you can turn those on. It will pull them directly from your marketing profile. In some cases, though, it may overlap some of your information. So it is always best to just add anything you need for compliance to your design or leave that space at the bottom for that information, okay? I'm going to go ahead and leave it though. The last thing is to schedule it or publish it immediately. If we'd like to schedule this to go out Saturday morning, Friday morning, whatever you'd like, you can go ahead and select that. If we scroll down, we can adjust the time. From there, we can go ahead and save draft or schedule post. Now I'm going to go ahead and hit schedule. It's going to allow me to preview that, make sure everything is good. And now we're brought back into our campaigns, but we're brought directly into social posts. We can see our scheduled posts. We can see it's scheduled for 2 channels, April 5th at 10 a.m. These are the 2 channels. Once that's published, it'll start to give us some other information. We can click the 3 dots and edit until it's published. We can also go ahead and delete that if we want to. This will allow you to go ahead and schedule out posts for as long as you want. You can do the month, the week, whatever you're looking to do, you can go through here and create those. Okay, so those are your social posts. We do have time really quick for the video, since that is part of a design that we don't really cover outside of this class. I want to show you guys that really quick. So we're headed back to designs and create, and we're going to select video and next. Now this, we're going to select a neighborhood. I'm just going to type Orlando. It's going to pull up all of the various neighborhoods. So I'm just going to pick one and hit next. It's going to show me the average home price for that area. Homes are on the rise, average square foot, number of homes for sale, days on market, top 3 features in that area. These can, of course, be edited. They are required, but you can edit them if you feel they're incorrect. It's going to pull your agent information from your marketing profile. You do want to make sure you plug in that phone number. Let me grab that really quick. Toss that in there. Market center information, again, pulling from your marketing profile. We're going to go ahead and hit next, and it's going to generate a quick little neighborhood video. Now, these videos can't be customized much more than what we just did, so keep that in mind if you don't really love them. But they are quick, short, little videos that you can create in no time at all to share on social media. So if we go ahead and play this really quick. All right, guys, that is the short little video. Again, not much you can edit. It's going to pull all of that same details. Once we hit save, though, that'll be saved to our design so that we could download and use that for social posts if you like that and would like to share that. That is the end of our designs class. So as promised, we have time for some questions. So I'm going to stop record and go through all of those questions. If you have any that you didn't put in the chat yet, go ahead and drop those in. And if you don't have any questions and want to jump off, that is totally fine too. Have a wonderful rest of your week. And hopefully we'll see you again.